Hey, it's Jen, and I've been vlogging about Dave's hospital stay, and I thought you may be wondering why I'm doing that. So I wanted to explain that to you, but also at the end of the video, there is a list of 12 things that will make your hospital stay better. So you're gonna wanna go check that out. It's gonna help you a lot. All right, so stay till the end and get the list. You can screenshot it, that way you always have it in your phone. God forbid you have to go to the hospital, you'll be prepared. So we have a health situation. We don't need to talk about that because I like to talk about happy things here. But we do. And so we've had extensive stays in hospitals, and frequently there's issues. And so number one, I wanted to document so that I would remember what exactly happened. But number two, because I want to educate people, let's say you don't frequently go to the hospital, or you never go to the hospital, and then you have to go, or a family member has to go, and you think, you have no idea what to do. So I thought I would put together a little thing and let you know what are some great things to do if someone needs to go to the hospital. Number one, they should never be alone. So if you're thinking, all right, Jen, it appears that you're in your studio and your husband's in the hospital. My daughter is there, my teenage daughter, and if a medical person comes in, she FaceTimes me and I talk to them, and I do that. Why do you need somebody there? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, if you're the patient, you're probably on some kind of medicine. You're not going to remember what anybody says. You may not even remember your symptoms, sometimes why you're there. It's a whole thing. So you should always have somebody there to get information, but also because I did an interview. I used to have a medical gaslighting podcast, and I interviewed a doctor to see what we should do. And one of the things was, she said, look, we're seeing so many patients. You know, we're in so many different rooms. It almost is dehumanizing because we have to see them as cases, right? Not as people. But if you have a picture of your family or you have a family member in there, it kind of reminds us, oh, this person has people that care about them, and it makes them pause. You may think that's right or wrong, and honestly, I was shocked. But if you think about it, they don't have a lot of time. They're racing between people, and it does help them know, oh my gosh, hey, look, I need to stop for a minute and really pay attention. Let's talk about paying attention. I live in the United States, and medical care here is different than anywhere else. I get that. Our doctors are so strapped for time. We have had doctors in the last 4 years leaving the medical field in unprecedented numbers, which means the people who are left are exhausted. They're scrambling. Like I said, one patient to the next, to the next. They don't always remember the important things. I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, I took Dave to urgent care. He was having a belly issue. We don't need to talk about it exactly, but it potentially needed surgery. So I took him to urgent care, and they said, oh, okay, first of all, he said, ooh, it does look like he may need surgery. Could be cancer. That's not something anyone should say unless you have a test and you know it's cancer. We've had it happen before. I knew that that wasn't the issue. Well, 99%. I knew that it wasn't the issue, so I didn't let it bother me. Had I been somebody else, though, we would have been panicked, thinking, oh my gosh, he has cancer. So if someone says words like that and they haven't done the labs, try not to panic because they don't know. All right? We previously had an issue where 5 different doctors told him he had cancer for the same issue. Did the surgery, and it wasn't, which was beautiful, but also we went through hell during that time. So watch out for words that could be triggering, and keep an open mind, and remember that everything could just be okay. It's just one person's opinion. All right. Number 2, they forget. That's where I was going. So we went there for one issue. Now they wanted to do a CT scan to see what was the problem. And in order to do that, they have to do blood work and make sure your kidneys can handle the contrast. When they did that, it came back horrible for his kidneys. The lab results were horrible. They showed that he was in full-on kidney failure. So number 1, I was there. I asked them to rerun that lab because it didn't make any sense. His kidney labs were fine a few weeks ago. He only has 1.5 working kidneys, so it's a very important thing. They did rerun it. The numbers were exactly the same. So they said, okay, you have to go to the ER. Go to the ER First problem is fine, doesn't need surgery, everything's great. That was wonderful. And she's like, okay, so now you can go home. And I thought, well, that sounds wonderful. And I said, but what about his kidneys? Oh, what do you mean? Kidneys are fine, labs are fine. And I said, can you check again for me? Because I had it run twice at the urgent care, and I just want to make sure. So she left the room. She's gone for about 10 minutes, probably wondering how she's going to put to us that she forgot. And when she looked at the lab, it was still showing he was in kidney failure. And she's like, oops, he's got to stay. So these are the reasons you need someone with you. He wasn't thinking. He would have come home. He would have just been so thankful that they said to come home. He would have come home. And then we would have gone back to the emergency room. So, and now he's going to be in there for several days because it is probably something that's fixable, easily fixable, hopefully. That's what we're hoping. But we need to know. And my dad passed away because of kidney failure. He was on dialysis. So it is something that I'm very aware of, that it is a very significant health issue. So we're not playing around. And they're not either, now that they know what's going on. So another thing is, bring an extra blanket, bring a little, not a huge like bedside blanket, but a throw blanket for the patient and the person that's going to be staying. Hospital rooms are notoriously uncomfortable, especially for the visitor. And a blanket or two, you can use one as a pillow or use a hoodie as a pillow. Use your blanket, you're going to want it. They have blankets there. They're very thin. They're not very comfortable. So you want to get comfortable. Make sure you bring chargers. Chargers for everything. You're going to be on those devices a lot. It's really boring. Sure, they have TVs, but we don't really watch TVs anymore because we don't like to watch what they say we have to watch on TV and follow their schedule. Everybody wants to do their own thing. So bring a tablet if you have one, bring a phone. Computers, they're kind of hard to keep track of, and yeah, they end up being placed precariously and we don't want them breaking. So anyway, bring chargers, bring earbuds or headphones. He's in a room with someone else. I didn't think that was a thing that happened anymore, but it is. So bring something so that your whole room doesn't have to listen. Yeah. And medications. They don't want you to take your own medications. They want to give you the medications from there. They can charge you 5 times the price and make the money. Is that why? I don't know. I'm just telling you a fact. But also, they don't always have all the medications. We take some specialty medications that not everywhere has. And if you have medication that you really, really need to take, or there will be consequences, bring it with you. You may or may not share it. They wanted to hold on to one of my medications. It is $2,000. I said, no, you cannot, because no. So anyway, there's that. Another thing is, you have rights as a patient. You have a right to know what's going on. You have a right to proper treatment. You have all kinds of rights. Let me tell you a little story. I went to a hospital and I looked up when they would check me in the room, and inside the light were hundreds of bugs. Yes, little flying things. It was nasty. And I called the nurse and she's like, well, this is our last room, so you're going to stay here. No, I was not going to stay there. There is always a charge nurse, always, 24 hours a day. Hit the button. Tell them you want the charge nurse. She will come. You will get your problem solved. I was moved. You're not being a problem if you want to or need to request something that's going to keep you healthy and safe. So just know it's okay to do that. And also, yeah, how disgusting. Yeah, bugs. Anyway, it was a thing in a hospital. If you name it, we probably experienced it at a hospital. It's all the things. But I think, anywhere you go, if you spend enough time somewhere, things are going to happen. So anyway, those are my main things. Oh, and snacks. Bring a blanket. Bring your screen things to watch with chargers and headphones or earbuds. Know you have rights and be willing to be assertive. Now, on the flip side of that, let me tell you something phenomenal that I did. Phenomenal. Stopped at the grocery store on the way. They had those shareable M&Ms, buy one, get one. I bought two. We walk in, to the ER, he's still at the ER. They move us up to the room. First thing I do when the nurse walks in, here you go. This is a thank you for taking care of my husband. Hope it gets you through the night. Cannot tell you how thankful they were. Oh my gosh. So the nurse assistant and the nurse, when the nurse found out we had done it, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what we needed, da 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 da. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but just a little something to say, hey, and something, if you're gonna bring food, have it be sealed. These people don't know who you are. They don't know if you're some whack job. They don't. And they see a lot of them there. So, you know, like I said, people are overworked at the hospitals, and, you know, people are getting grumpy with them. So do a little something to say thank you. All right? That's how you walk in the door, with a smile on your face and a thank you. Even if you don't have something in your hand, say the words. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for taking care of my mom or my dad or whatever. I appreciate this. I know it's your job, but you're smiling today, and that tells me you're going to do an extra great job with my family member, and I appreciate that. It goes so far. So, of all the tips, that's number one. Okay? Now, if they get salty, if they get sassy, if they get mean, if they won't help, reach out to the charge nurse. But start very positive. Remember, you're setting the tone. When they walk into your hospital room, if the energy in there, now granted, I mean, somebody's sick, right? Somebody may be dying. Like, it's not always pleasant. But if they walk in and your tone is, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming in here. We appreciate you. What is the difference between that and, oh my gosh, I can't believe you took 5 minutes? Okay, you're setting a tone. And even if you can't believe it took 5 minutes or 20 minutes, I'm just gonna let you know, it could be that the guy next door is dying and they needed to hold his hand for an extra 10 minutes. Or there was some sort of nasty issue you don't want them telling you about, and they had to take care of it before they came into your room and wash their hands really well before they got there. So it's a hospital. Give them the benefit of the doubt, all right? But also make sure your person gets taken care of. Try not to leave them alone. Try to have somebody staying, a friend, a family member, somebody with them. And if all else fails, set them up with a phone where they can FaceTime you, and if anybody's in the room. So a nurse walks in, we FaceTime. Doctor walks in, we FaceTime. And that way they still get to see you, you still get to know what's happening and get all the information. Because sometimes, like right now, I have to do some things for work, and Dave's there. And I hate that we're not together, but I'm doing that. So took a brief pause in that to tell all of this to you. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna see him, stay with him for the rest of the day until it's time to sleep, and then come home and be with the kids, because I cannot be alone overnight. Not cool. So anyway, I hope that this has helped. I really do. I hope that you never have to use this advice. And but if you do, it's here. If you have extra things, leave them in the comments below. I'll probably think of things as the day goes by, and I'll add them as well. And then the next person can just know all the things. So maybe I'll even make a little list so you could print it out. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Put that in the comments. All right. I love you very much. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I appreciate you, and I will be back live tomorrow night from the Glitz and Glam of Art, because, yep, the show must go on, and it's going to. And we've got so many people that are loving and surrounding Dave that I can. All right. So I'll see you there. It's going to be amazing. All right.